Hello, everyone, and welcome to my podcast. And today I have a dear friend and a business partner, Shannon. Hello, Shannon.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. Thank you so much for taking the time to be here today.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. This is your first podcast.
It is.
How do you feel?
Excited, nervous, all the things.
That's amazing. That's okay. Excitement is always good. And the purpose of this podcast is to show everyone the potential of our online business and the world we are in, and how regular people like myself and yours can actually make a difference and build generational wealth. But before we get there, tell me, who is Shannon?
Who am I? I'm an Alberta girl, originally from Ontario. And I used to be a wedding planner before I started this. And I've always kind of been a dreamer. I like to try different things. I went to university, but then decided that wasn't really the route for me when I was in corporate, and started my wedding business. And then that eventually led me to entrepreneurship, which led me here.
Amazing. And how long you were in the event planning business for?
12 years. I did that
12
for 12
years.
years. Yeah.
And it's a good business. It does make money, but what were you missing in that aspect?
For me, it was the time that I was giving up more than anything, because it's very summer heavy, very weekend heavy. Clients wanted to meet in the evenings, and I had 2 little kids. And it was fine when they were babies. Weekends don't really exist. Every day is kind of the same. But once they got to school age, it just wasn't working anymore. And I was realizing how much we had to plan our lives a year in advance or more if we wanted to take a vacation, or if we got invited to a wedding. And I sometimes couldn't go because I was already booked.
Okay, Shannon, I'm originally from Lebanon, and coming to Canada was a bit different for me, the culture and everything. You're from Ontario, you moved to Calgary. How was that move for you?
It wasn't that different. I actually came on kind of on a whim. I was graduating university, didn't have a job, didn't have any prospects. So called my brother who lived out here, and he's like, "You should move to Calgary. It's great." And I said, "Okay." And it called a girlfriend, and we moved out. But it wasn't, then I did work at Scotiabank, I did corporate, but it didn't seem like a big shift. It was moving a province, didn't seem that different for me.
Okay, that's nice. Because most of the time when people make a move, whether in their life or in their career, they feel anxious. They feel like, is this going to work out for me? So tell me a little bit about the move that you made from being an event planner to becoming an online business owner. Were you nervous? Did you have to leave your job to do that? Tell me a little bit more about your journey.
So I left my corporate job to do events. I had kind of started it on the side, and then was doing it. I was diagnosed with breast cancer. It's been 18 years ago now, but I was 27 and diagnosed with breast cancer, went through my treatments while I was still working. Took some time off to heal, and then went back to my corporate. And I decided, why am I doing this? I don't like this job. I don't want to do this job. And why am I doing something that I don't love every day? And I had already started into the wedding world. So that was a really scary jump, because then I was going out on my own. I was no longer had corporate to back me. But I decided this is what I want to do. And so I called my husband one day and I said, "I think I just quit my job." And he's like, "Okay, well, you were kind of already going down that route anyways, but sooner than we planned, but okay." And so that was a scary jump to be full-time entrepreneur, doing my own weddings, having to drum up my own business. But I just knew I wasn't loving corporate, and I had just been through this massive health scare that I was like, why am I doing something I don't love? So I made the shift and went to weddings. I did those for 12 years, and I did love weddings. But to do weddings, you really have to love it, because it's somebody's very important day, and you need to really love it. And if the shade of color wasn't perfect, I was starting to not care as much. And so that to me was my indication, okay, it's time to do something else. And so I knew the world was going global and digital. And so I started looking, how can I take my skills that I have now and do those online? And so I did go down the course creation route. I was going to create courses for people planning their own weddings. They could use my spreadsheets and all my expertise and plan their own weddings. So I did go down that route, and I started to look at it. But then I was looking at, okay, I need to create the course, host the course, do an email campaign, have this whole sales funnel that could take me tens of thousands of dollars and years to develop. And then I came across an ad on social media that brought me to the business that we're in now. And I realized that it had all of those back end systems. And I went, oh, wait, because I had just been down that. So I knew how valuable that was. And so I started going down this route, and I realized that, you know, if you want to build something, to have that infrastructure already in place is huge.
Yeah.
And so it was scary to leave weddings, because when I left them, it was kind of my line in the sand of like, I can't do this again next summer. Okay. So I actually started this in summer, in wedding season, in the peak of it, in the thick of it. And I said, I can't do this again next year. So I jumped in and went for it, and then the next year, it was very scary to start saying the next year when I was getting asked to take weddings, no, sorry, I'm not taking any for next summer.
Oh, wow.
It was a scary moment, but it was one that I knew was necessary to make the change.
Okay. So at that point, you weren't still making your 6 figures when you decided to switch.
No. So I probably left weddings before I was ready with my business. Okay. It was probably earlier than I should have done it financially. But I had to do it, because if you commit to the weddings the next year, it's a year of planning, and you're in the same cycle. So I did some corporate stuff kind of on the side from home. I did some stuff for Scotiabank still for another year while I was still building up my business. But yeah, just to pay the bills and get things through while I grew my business. Nice. But I knew when I had found it and I saw the potential in it, I knew that's where I was going. So I wanted to put all of my time and energy into that. And I couldn't do that if I was still doing weddings.
Okay, that's nice. Let's go a little bit back. You mentioned when you were 27, you were diagnosed with cancer. Sorry to hear about that. But what did you learn from that experience?
That really changed your perspective on everything. And I went through it, and people kind of go down 2 different routes when they go through something like that. Is poor me, why me? And then why not me? Like, I'm not special. And who knows why it happened or whatever. But you kind of go down 2 different routes, and some people come out of it and some people don't. And I was one of those ones that right from the get-go, I knew this was a temporary bump in the road. I wasn't scared that I was going to die. I was just more scared that I wouldn't be able to have kids, to be honest. But I knew that this was a temporary bump in the road. I was going to get through it. I was young, I was strong, and just do what the doctors told me to do, and I'd be fine. And so it was a scary time for sure, but it really shifted perspective on, like, when I went back to work and I was like, why am I doing this? I don't want to be doing this. And so it really changes on your outlook on life. And I never really was a sweat the small stuff kind of girl. But it made that even less so. And if we want to take a trip, we should take a trip. Because you don't know, you're not promised tomorrow. You really don't know.
Yeah. Absolutely. I agree. And I love the mindset behind it and how you're looking at it now. It was a shift for you. Okay, I don't want to be an employee anymore and even live a life that doesn't give me pleasure and happiness. I want to shift. And then you took a step by yourself to go to the other business. And that requires a lot of courage. A lot of people that want to start a business online, whether it's immigrants, whether it's people that live in Canada, they are scared and they think they have to be super special, super educated, super talented. They need to know how to do things and find the product and build the systems and figure everything out by themselves. So they overwhelm themselves with the idea of doing a business and starting it before they even start. And this is where they don't even start. What is your message for beginners, people that have no idea, but really have that burning desire inside of them saying, I don't want to live this life anymore. I want a change. And change comes from getting more income and having more freedom and living life on your own terms. So what would you advise those individuals?
You figure it out as you go. Because when I was starting, and even when I jumped into weddings, I wasn't an expert wedding planner. I didn't know what I was doing. I took a wedding course in Toronto and I got my certificate and all those things, but you learn as you go. And it was the same thing when I jumped into the online business. I didn't know what I was doing. It is why I partnered and got into the one that had the sales funnel and the systems and all of those things for me. But anything that you do, any job, any career, in entrepreneurship, you learn as you go. And it's just taking that jump to be able to do it, which is the scariest part. But it's just baby steps, one step in front of the other to get to where you want to go.
Okay. And what kept you going when things were hard, like when things were tough for you? What did you say to yourself?
It was, if not this, what else am I going to do? Because I knew what I didn't want. I've already done corporate. I've already, done weddings. I've already done different things where I was trading my time for money. I knew I wanted, then now I've gone and I've had kids, and that has been the biggest driving force for me, is I want to take them to travel the world. I want to be available when they come home from school and take them to school and take them to their sports. And because when I was in weddings, I missed a lot. I missed a lot of things in the summers and the weekends with them, or had to put them in camps or care or whatever. And I wanted to be the one spending that time with them. So they for sure have been my biggest driving force. But I always, anytime when I came, and there's been plenty of roadblocks in my journey, but anytime I came to one, I thought, okay, if not this, then what? And I never could find what else there was to do. This is it. And so I just kept pushing forward to make it work.
Amazing. I've witnessed that in even my career. Like, if you give yourself no other option, all your focus is going to go into that one place, and you will figure it out as you go. I remember 8 years ago when I joined, like, I was worried that my accent is too thick, that people won't understand me, that they're going to make fun of me, that am I going to be able to, create a video on social media. And now I'm hosting my own podcasts after 8 years. So it's a process, right?
Yep.
It's a step-by-step thing that you go through it. I want to know a little bit about your life right now. How does your life look like?
Now I get to design my own days. So like today, when you said, do you want to come do a podcast on Tuesday? I said, sure. Yesterday, I went for coffee with a friend in the morning. Then I do my work as I need to and want to. I'm a night owl, so I do lots at night as well. But I just get to decide what I'm doing each day. I'm coaching women from all over the world on how to run and grow their businesses. And it's fun. Like every day I get to do something different. And I just really enjoy it, because that was the thing with corporate that I didn't enjoy, was it was kind of the monotony of it in the same thing all the time. And then this one, like we just went to Costa Rica with the family. We're going to Greece and Portugal this summer.
Amazing.
And so doing what I said we wanted to do when I started this is to be able to have that income, to be able to travel with the kids and just be off when they're off and have my days to myself when I need them.
Amazing. Yeah. And how does summer feel like right now? Is it a burden?
Well, I mean, the kids, the whole time's a lot. But no, we're super excited this summer because we did book Greece and Portugal. So the boys are really excited for that. And it's some juggling. I mean, my kids are getting a little bit older now, so they're a little more self-sufficient, but I rely a lot on the systems that I have in place in summer. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You just hit a major milestone in your business, and
did.
Not a lot of people would push through to their dreams to get where you got. How do you feel about that?
Good. Excited. It's been one that I've been working to for a long time. But already I'm already sights on the next one. But excited and just really proud of myself that I got there.
That's awesome. And how does your husband feel about it?
My husband, so he was quite not super skeptical, but just when I was starting this, like, what are you doing? What is this? Because I had tried many different things.
Okay.
And so I get where he was kind of coming from. And I said, this is working for too many people to not try it for myself.
Yeah.
Like I need to see, because I didn't want to wonder what if. And so he's like, okay, yeah, do what you got to do. And then he has become my biggest fan. As soon as the checks started coming in, he was very supportive. But it was kind of a joke when I first started the business. It was like, well, you just watch when, my T4 is going to be more than your T4 when once I get this business going. And he's like, sure, bring it on. Like he was all over.
Challenging you.
Yeah. And so we kind of had like every year the T4s would come in and I was like, ooh, not quite, not this year. And I'm like, next year. And then this year was finally the year. And so we got our T4s. I'm like, hey, open it up. I got mine today. And it was more than his. So,
Oh, wow. Nice.
but he was like so happy for me and so proud. And just really excited.
Of course, it's a teamwork,
Yeah.
you know, and when you reach that level of success, you need to have a supportive spouse around you, which is absolutely amazing. You know, lots of time people would want that big T4 at, you know, the second day of starting a business or the third day. And it takes time. Let's be realistic in anything we do, businesses, even when you want to go to college, you're learning for 4 or 5 years to end up being hired by someone and then another 10 years to be promoted. It takes time to get the paycheck you want. So lots of people expect results right away. They quit too soon. They don't work on their mindset. They don't work on their growth. How did you feed your mindset? How did you work on your growth for you to overcome all the objections that happened throughout your career to success?
Mindset is huge in entrepreneurship, especially in this business. And because the first couple years, I thought I would be further ahead than I was. I think in anything that I've ever done, I always I want instant results. We all do. And so I was a little like, I'm not where I wanted to be, but okay, what am I going to do to get there? And so I just kept moving forward and pushing forward and learning more and growing more and pushing myself. Like doing a podcast is outside of my comfort zone, but sure. Yep. And
Let's do it.
I started saying yes to more things that put me outside of my comfort zone. And just learning. I spend a lot of time doing deep dives on different things to see. And even when I have something that's working really well, I always see what can I do better.
Okay. Yeah. And how did that help you get to the places you are at right now with you and your team together? Like the woman that you're coaching?
Yeah. Well, I once I became a coach, then that's like a whole nother ball game. So I then had to start working on myself as a leader and as a coach. I did some coaching with you too. And that was good to just to show me awareness of like what I'm doing already for the ladies that I coach and to just help me grow as a person. And just the confidence it's in there. Once the confidence comes, as you know, and you know what you're doing in the business, but as you then change roles again and start leading other people, there's like another shift that has to happen. And so you helped a little bit with that too. But just doing, I think the biggest thing for me has been education. And I do lots of different courses and I do different things just to constantly be learning and growing myself.
Yeah. In our community, we have, I would say on every Wednesday, we have coaching that's done for the mindset and for the growth, and committing to those helped us at the beginning because these are for free.
Yeah.
But eventually, as you grow, as you make more money, you start investing more in yourself. And this is where you took the step to invest in 6 coaching sessions with me.
Yeah.
At the beginning, I was nervous too because you were my first client, by the way. I was I was graduating. I just graduated. I did a lot of practice because you have to do like 60 hours or something of practice. But then you inspired me because I started seeing that, okay, she's moving forward. She has now more structure. She's getting results out of those coaching sessions.
Yeah.
Tell me one thing that actually moved you after you completed those 6 sessions with me.
I think the biggest thing was creating the awareness because I was like, well, maybe I'm not being a good enough coach. Maybe I can do more for and you're like, no. And you showed me made me say what I was doing, but showed me what I already was doing. And so, that the awareness was huge. I think just the confidence in myself. I got more confidence because I realized I do know what I'm doing. I have been doing this for a long time. I have led others who have had success too. And I just had to be, I guess, reminded of that as well. But also getting the systems in place and like look at the things that you like to do and that light you up, and then look at the things that you don't need to be doing, like the daily delegations. And so I'm a type A person. So that's hard for me to let some things go. But I have, and it's been great. And it just opens up more time and space for more creativity on my end.
Exactly.
And to get rid of the things that I don't need to be doing on a daily basis.
Especially because when we start, we don't have the resources to hire someone because you're just beginning and you're trying to figure everything out. And then you master it because you're repeating it over and over again. And then you'll be like, oh, I don't think someone can do the same work as me.
Yeah.
I was in that place too.
Yeah.
And then you figured out a way to delegate. And this is where you're like, okay,
Yeah.
more freedom for me.
Yeah.
That's amazing. In our business model, you will reach a place at some point where you will have a legacy income. What does that mean to you?
That is just for building for the future, and it's going to be our travel fund, and it's going to be, for the things that we want to be doing. But for me, it's something I've been building to since the beginning. Not that far off in the future. It's going to be happening shortly here. But it's just really exciting because I did weddings for a long time. I never had a pension plan.
Okay.
I was always building for my own retirement. And so it's just really exciting to have, this feels like my pension plan,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Like it's really exciting to have that in place. And as now we chat about our numbers with me and my husband, and he's talking about his pension. I'm like, well, here's going to be mine. So it's just really exciting.
Okay, that's awesome. Lots of people don't think a lot about like the end goal. We always focus on, okay, short term, what I'm going to be doing. But long term is a very important vision to have. Because if we don't have a long term vision, then we are not motivated to reach that place and that goal. For us, like the culture that we come from, like God is our pension.
Yeah.
Not like here. You have like plans in place and all of that. And I remember when I hit my first legacy income I was 31 years old. And then I did this video on social media, I can now retire. And people were like, 31 and retire? What's going on here? So this is the potential of the online space, because if you are with the right companies, you are with the right system, the right mentorship program, nothing and no one can stop you from reaching any income that you would want. I want to ask you one more question before we wrap this up. What do you say to all that women out there that feel that they're not good enough, or they won't be able to live this life, or they're drowned in the responsibilities and the overthinking and not being able to see their worth? What one message you would give them?
I think everybody has that, and it's just pushing past it. So I know I had it when when I'm seeing all these people having success, and I was like, well, why not me? Like, why can't I do that? And I think in this space, people don't want to be sold to. They want to know that you are a real person and that this is something that you can do too. And I think that's something that's so powerful about our business, is that it is regular people. Yes, we've had now massive success and our lives have changed compared to what we came from. But we started as regular people that just wanted to change for our lives, wanted to change for our families. And we were just willing to put ourselves out there to do it. And so I think the biggest thing that I can tell people is like, why not you? Like, why? There's nothing special about us, right? We were just somebody who were willing to do it and put ourselves out there. So why not you?
It comes as you go too, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Like you would never think that you would be speaking on stage, and yet you did it. How
In
many
October,
times?
yeah.
Yeah, a lot of times. I saw you at Tori's, and then
Yeah.
Tori's event, and then when you had a big, huge event in Calgary, and then you were speaking in front of 200 some people.
Which that is way outside of my comfort zone. I am not a public speaker. My face goes red. But I thought, you know what? Yes. And I had so many people reach out to me after thanking me and saying how amazing it was. And I was like, oh, so I did provide value. That's great.
Of course. Yeah.
But,
you moved everyone.
Yeah.
And from your own experience, you're showing others that this can be their story as well. How did in-person events help you grow, like by attending those events? How did it help your career and your business?
The motivation, and just there's really something powerful about being surrounded by people who are like-minded, because you can talk to your friends and family about being an entrepreneur, running an online business, but they don't really get it. And so there's something very powerful about being in a room with hundreds of people that really get that. And then to me, being on the stage took it to next level, because becoming from the event planner, I'm the behind the scenes girl. I'm not the on the stage girl. That's the bride.
Yeah.
And so it was a shift for sure. But it was just something, and even my team them needing to hear from me on a stage they were like, I'm going to be on a stage one day.
Yeah.
So it brought them motivation that, well, if Shannon can do that, then I can do that too. So
exactly. And it shows you're a regular human that has fears, but you can overcome them.
Yeah.
And I learned that in life coaching, the best way to teach someone is to role model, like be that thing. They will see it, and then just like our kids, if we're yelling, they're yelling. If we're having a conversation and talking, you see them doing the same with others. It's just role modeling in the business model. What will it take from you to host eventually your own events and be a speaker? And
I don't know. Well, the speaker I've done that. So, okay. My own events, I think I'll get there eventually. Maybe I'll have a podcast one day. Who knows?
Exactly.
But I think it's just continuing to grow and work on myself and put myself out there and keep putting myself outside of my comfort zone, because that's where all the growth happens. I've heard that over and over.
Exactly. I remember when I hosted my first event ever, like it was a big one in Montreal. It was like a last minute thing. We just rented that church. It was so cute and cozy, and the stage was this small. But everybody was excited to see each other. And then when you see that people are like engaging and loving it and want more of it, this is where you start becoming more creative. And I've never hosted events before, but you hire the right people, and then eventually you bring in the right speakers. That's what we're doing in Calgary this summer. Lots of successful entrepreneurs are going to be speaking on stage and talking about how it can help regular individuals move from not making an income online to having a business that grows by itself. I want to ask you, your relationship with your kids now that they see you, that successful woman, what do they think about that?
I think they're very proud of it. I think before, when I was staying home, like I gave up a lot of my career years to be and stay home with them. Or when I was doing weddings, they didn't see that. They saw me go out the door, but they didn't really know what I was doing. And I think now they see what I'm doing. I think they're very proud of what I'm doing and just excited. And they know that it's funding a lot of our family vacations. So they know
where the money is coming from.
And they're loving that because it's changing their lives too.
I'm going to have some questions for you here. I think I asked most of them, but let's see. Okay, so what are you most proud of, not just in business, but as a woman and a survivor?
I think as a survivor, I think people, like I talked about, they can really get stuck in their story. And if you don't move past that, and like to me, breast cancer was actually a really good thing that happened. It showed me how strong I was. It really secured mine and my husband's marriage. We'd been married. We were newlyweds. We just had our first anniversary when I was diagnosed. So it really solidified that this is the person you're going to do life with. But it made me not sweat the small stuff and not like, well, why not me? I'm not special. Anybody can get cancer. It's like 1 in 4, maybe 1 in 3 now even. And so it just really, and it changed my perspective. Like I said, like it really shifted. What are we doing with our lives and why are we doing it? Like it makes you think things. I think it made me a little maybe entitled of, well, I already did all my crap. I don't want to have to be doing this. Like when I was thinking about going back to a job or doing those things, I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to. But it's pushed me to do other things instead.
I think it gave you your power instead of feeling like you got entitled, because everyone deserves a great life, especially if they're not happy. And it's sad that some people are stuck in the same job, business, relationships with people that don't even love them for years and years, and they call it a life. And that's not okay. And sometimes people are regulated. We are conditioned to a life that we're not happy, and then we don't have the audacity or the courage to say no. It's time for me to change. And this is what I invite everyone that's watching us here today. If you feel like you don't like where you are at, doesn't matter what it is, your body, your relationship, your business, your career, just make the move. Whatever move it is, do it consistently on a daily basis, and then things start to change as you go.
It's much easier to stay where things are comfortable. And so I think that's what people do. And then they're not happy and the cycle keeps going. Whereas you need to get uncomfortable to make any sort of change.
Okay, what would you tell a woman who feels held back by fear, doubt, and even other people's opinion around her?
I think, well, and I'm in my 40s now, so I care less about opinions maybe than when I was younger. But people really, everyone has such a short attention spans these days, and we think that they're watching or we think that they care, and they really don't.
Nobody does.
Nobody does. And they forget 2 seconds later. So I think that I used to worry a lot about what people thought about me. And now I don't really care because they're not paying my bills. They're not living my life. And I'm proud of what I'm doing and I'm happy with what I'm doing. So I think they need to just get to that place where you need to not worry about what people are thinking because they really don't care. And they're not paying as much attention as you think that they are.
That's awesome. This is what Mike says on the mastermind. Nobody cares.
Nobody cares.
Nobody knows you exist.
Yeah.
Life is too short to...
Not do something that you don't love.
What else?
Not to just enjoy it. Like we should be having fun. And that has always been my goal in life, is to do something that's fun and that I love.
Okay.
And so if you're like, when you're doing, things can get stressful in any career, in any job, whatever you're doing. They can get stressful, they can get hard, but you need to make it fun. And if it's not fun, then why are you doing it?
Yeah, absolutely. Before we wrap this up, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
In the next 5 years, well, I'll for sure have multiple legacy that I've hit. And so I will still be coaching. I will still be coaching women like I am now, but probably in a different way, because I will have more already. Like, I have a lot of things in place where I'm getting rid of the daily kind of admin stuff. So I think I'll be dreaming much bigger, probably doing some more events. And just, really, I see myself much bigger and more powerful in the next 5 years.
Nice. Amazing. And lots of people, when they hit their 40s, they start slowing down. But this business gives you that excitement. You're like, what can I do better? Like, how can I grow my business? Who can I help more? Which is absolutely amazing. Shannon, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you. This was a great podcast. We're trying to keep these podcasts informational to give you all the motivation and the inspiration to let you know that if we as regular people can do this business, so can you. So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
We'll see you soon.
Yay.
Thank you.